and welcome to A New You. I'm Timmy the teacher. Are you late paying your bills? Do you have trouble finding your statements? Are you paying late fees as a result? Then this segment is just for you. The solution to your problem could be just to get organized. Joining me today is organizer extraordinaire who can be seen on The Hoarders and author of the book Face Your Stuff or Stuff Your Face, where I just happen to be a contributor.
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. Joining me today is my friend Dorothy Breininger. Welcome, 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 Dorothy.
Thank you.
Now, Dorothy, you're an organizational expert and you talk a lot about curbing the chaos. Can being disorganized really lead to chaotic lives? I know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, when you just think about paper itself, my clients come to me and they say, Dorothy, I've got two problems. One, overwhelm, and number two, paper. And paper is finances. It's how we pay our bills. It's how we communicate with others. It's how we keep track of our calendars and so forth. Even if we use it electronically, we're still kind of bound to paper. So yeah, if there's chaos in our lives, often it's tied to the paper and the overwhelm of paper.
Yes. And you know what, Dorothy? A few years ago, I may not have believed that, but now I'm starting to see that in my own life. I feel like I'm not as productive when my desk is full of papers. And I find myself having to clear that clutter all the time. What are some of the solutions? How do you go about getting rid of the clutter?
Well, absolutely. You sound like a chef who's in a kitchen that has dishes everywhere,
Yeah.
and they can't cook until it's clear. And it's good to have a clean surface. So some of the things you need to do is get really clear on number one, what's on my desk. We have lots of things on our desk, Timmy, posing as paper.
Yes.
We've got paper clips, stamps, shoes, kids' shoes, photographs. They're all things posing as paper, but they're not. So let's get that stuff off the desk first. Okay?
Yes.
Those are all the items that really aren't paper. Then we look what's on the desk. And we want to go into piles because most of us are what I call pilers and stackers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And that's me.
Either some of us like to file, but most of us like to pile with a P.
Yes.
So if you're a piler and a stacker, then go with how your brain thinks. Stop trying to fit into that mold of filing everything perfectly. Avoid perfection at all costs.
As we talk a lot about finances on this show and getting the best of your finances. And as I said earlier, I don't think that you can, at least I find that it hinders me when there's paper on my desk and I'm trying to be productive financially. Are there some tips that I can take or that you can share? And then I've got a couple that I'd like to share as well with people regarding getting their finances organized.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to look at, first of all, what are the categories of things that I need to have in place? Even if it's your finances, and I know you're talking about finances, Timmy, it still stops us when we've got catalogs, newsletters, photos, and all that other stuff on the desk. So I'm going to repeat it.
Yes.
If you want to deal with your finances, you want to clear all the other stuff first, okay? And then if you've got mounds and mounds of paper, I want you to just look at the current year. I don't want you going to last year, the year before, 5 years ago, and worrying about, how am I going to file all this?
Yes.
Forget that. Focus only on this year.
Yes.
Okay? Now, breathe. Now we've got some medical. Now we've got some bank statements. Now we've got some utilities. We've got some tax stuff. Maybe dogs, maybe kids, maybe school. Everybody's got about 10 to 12 categories that we need to file in. I don't want you to have too many categories because then we're stuck being a slave to the filing system or the piling system.
And the piling system. And you know what, Dorothy? I am indeed a slave to the filing system. And so what I have learned, this is something that has helped me tremendously. And I'm a very simple person. I'm not a technical person. I actually am a little leery of putting certain information online, but I understand that this is the age we're living in, so people can digitize their records, or you can do like me. I have just an old-fashioned filing system where I keep my receipts, where I keep my tax documents, where I keep my bank statements, and I keep all of that information in one place, easily accessible, so that I know where it is at all times. I have gone into clients' homes And it's like, yeah, they've got all the documents, they've got all of this. If the IRS were to say, hey, let me see your back taxes for the next 3 years, they know it's somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you said something that was really interesting. We're kind of straddled between two universes. We've got our physical paper world for finances, and then we've got our online paper world. And you know, many of us still go online to pay a bill, and what do we do when we're done paying it? We hit print, and we want to file it or pile it. So my request and suggestion is, if you're going to have an online filing system or an electronic filing system, I want you to have the exact same mirrored filing system in the physical world.
Yes.
Because that way you can jump between the two and you're always going to have the same categories.
Great, great. Well, that is some wonderful, wonderful advice, Dorothy. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you too for joining us. And remember, financial success is not a gift, it is a habit.